Observe closely, and you'll notice that nearly all millionaires and billionaires in the world share similar behaviors and characteristics. But what do they have in common that enables them to achieve such extraordinary feats? And could ordinary people reach these same results? The truth is, at their core, they are all regular people, and many come from vastly different backgrounds than the lives they currently enjoy. What we need to do is study these behaviors, adapt them to our reality, and pursue similar results. Embark now on this journey towards excellence. You won't want to miss out. First, I'd like you to reflect on something. What would your life be like if you had simply never given up? If you had stuck with something you walked away from years ago? How different would your reality be now? Today, we're going to talk about 8 habits that successful people practice, while unsuccessful people ignore. I firmly believe that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If someone else has achieved it, you can too. I remember encountering this idea for the first time as a young person, when I read a book called Think and Grow Rich. In it, I realized that it doesn't matter where I was born or what. My circumstances don't determine my destiny. What truly matters is how I organize the right elements to build the life I desire. By doing so, I ended up achieving what I wanted. Success is a word with varied meanings. Each person may define it differently. It might mean joy, peace, happiness, a big family, freedom, travel, clothes, or even cars. It's something different for everyone. However, I see that in every area of life, there are steps to follow in order to achieve success. Although success is defined differently by everyone, I'm going to share 8 characteristics observed in people who have achieved success in their lives. For me, success is having ultimate freedom, the freedom to do what I want, when I want, with whomever I choose. And for you, what does success mean? One of the most common qualities I notice in successful people, though not in all, is consistency, especially when it comes to waking up early and maintaining a morning routine. While researching this, I decided to look into the times these people usually wake up, and I discovered people like billionaire Richard Branson start their day at 4:30 a.m., as does Tim Cook. Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks, wakes up daily at 5 a.m. I'm not saying you need to adopt these exact times, but the reason they do it is to dedicate time to themselves, whether that means reading, journaling, or exercising. This time is used with intention, helping them develop and become the person they want to be. They follow a specific routine and do this before starting work. Even with thousands of employees to manage, these people prioritize the early hours of the day to take care of themselves. And you, have you been taking time to care for yourself? Imagine if you tried waking up just 1 hour earlier, using that time exclusively for yourself, instead of spending an extra hour at night watching movies or sports. By going to bed 1 hour earlier and waking up 1 hour earlier, you'd have a moment just for you. Imagine dedicating that time solely to yourself. How would that change your life? So, ask yourself, do you feel you wake up early enough to have a time set aside just for you? If the answer is no, incorporating this habit could make a big difference. The second interesting characteristic I've noticed among these successful people is that they read almost every day. An article published a few years ago revealed that a CEO, on average, reads around 60 books per year. That's more than 1 book per week, indicating that these leaders, at the top of their industries, prioritize constant learning. Now, think about it. How many books are you reading? How much are you investing in your own learning and growth? By learning from the most successful minds in history, you access a wealth of knowledge. Everything you want to know about self-development, self-mastery, spirituality, or religion has already been documented in books written by some of the most intelligent people who ever lived. Why not start reading these books? How often do you read, and if you set a goal, how many books would you like to read per month? Set that number, write it down, and start following it. The third practice of these successful people is to exercise regularly. They understand the strong connection between mind and body. If your body isn't well, your mind might not be either. The state of the body and mind is intertwined at all times. Think, for example, of that tired feeling after eating something heavy in the middle of the day. Have you ever experienced that? After lunch, you feel sleepy and like you need a coffee to keep going. This isn't always natural tiredness. Often, it's the result of something you ate that affects your energy. When I say that these people exercise consistently, it's because they know that by moving regularly, whether in the morning or evening, their bodies generate more energy for the whole day. And the more energy you have throughout the day, the more drive you'll have to achieve your goals, whatever they may be. One consistent practice among these people is exercising 4 times a week and always staying active. The fourth practice is writing down their goals consistently. In the 1970s, Harvard conducted a study with graduates from its MBA program. From this group, only 3% had written down their goals. 10 years later, in the 1980s, researchers followed up with these individuals and found that the 3% who had documented their goals were 10 times more successful than the other 97% combined. This shows that by writing down your goals, you make them concrete and visible, something that becomes part of your reality and that you can actively work toward. Many people set goals but never write them down, and without this step, they rarely commit to achieving them. This is one of the main reasons people don't reach their goals. To illustrate this better, imagine you need to solve a multiplication problem. For example, could you calculate 127 by 43 in your head? Most people would struggle. But if you had paper and pen, you could solve it using the method you learned in school. Similarly, when we take something out of our minds and put it on paper, complex tasks become more manageable and achievable. Whether paid or free, the important thing is to have someone who can guide you and provide valuable insights so you can move in the right direction. The sixth common key among successful people is the habit of maintaining positive self-talk. We're all born with a natural inclination toward optimism, but life often wears us down, and we need to reclaim that positivity. Not every day will you wake up enthusiastic to face the day, but how can you adjust your inner dialogue to motivate yourself and move forward? How can you strengthen your self-confidence with words of encouragement? Understand that achieving success is challenging, and it becomes even harder when there's a negative inner or external voice constantly criticizing. Learning to develop positive self-talk is essential to being more intentional with your thoughts and emotions. Let me give you an example from an experiment we did. We took a container and filled it with dirt, creating a really messy environment. Then, we added a little water, but nothing really changed. However, by using a hose and letting it run continuously, the water eventually washed away all the dirt over time. This dirt represents the negative thoughts in your mind. It's not enough to think positively occasionally. You need a true mental cleanse to maintain a consistently positive attitude. When I notice I'm slipping into negative thoughts, I try to pull myself out of that mindset. Ask yourself, in what areas of my life do I need to improve? Cultivate positive thoughts continuously so that the negative ones are washed away. The seventh characteristic of these people is that they're not afraid of failure. For a successful person, failure only happens if they give up completely. These people have failed many times but never see those failures as final. They only think about how to get it right next time. To achieve success, it's important to be willing to fail and keep going, as failure is part of the process. The eighth characteristic is unwavering determination. They simply don't give up. They decide what they want and commit to getting there, even if it means outlasting everyone in their field, because they know that most people eventually quit. The secret to success is pushing past these obstacles and continuing forward. Most of your competitors will give up along the way. Of that, I'm certain. So, if you simply persist, you'll eventually gain the skills, knowledge, and everything you need to achieve a level of success above average. Make a firm decision that no matter what happens, no matter how many times you fall, feel unmotivated, or make mistakes, you will keep moving forward. With this determination, success is inevitable. Just look at the stories of great figures who failed many times before reaching success. Abraham Lincoln, for example, faced countless failures and personal challenges, yet he persevered until he became President of the United States. What sets successful people apart is that they don't let failures throw them off course. They keep the same destination, always moving forward. Ask yourself, what would your life look like today if you had never given up? Think about how your mind, body, and reality would be different if you had stayed focused on what you abandoned years ago. From now on, keep moving forward without stopping. Success will come naturally with strength, focus, resilience, method, and consistency. Success has its cost. It requires us to be the best at what we do, and that dedication will certainly bring rewards. If you enjoyed this message and want more inspiring content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos.